Hello and welcome to Warhammer Wednesday. In this week's video I will be reviewing the Blood Angels Primaris Lieutenant Tolmeron. I do have a fair few Blood Angels models. They're loosely wrapped around the Blood Angels chapter. They're my own made up chapter. I've yet to make a video on their background, but I've recently discovered that there aren't many Primaris Lieutenants in the wild. About 9 of them. So I thought I'd take this chance to get Tolmeron. Now he costs you £15, which isn't too bad considering that, you know, the librarian for Primaris or the chaplain or the captain, they're all £22.50, so £7.50 cheaper, when in reality it probably has more plastic. And I question, you know, the amount of time it took to design or even sculpt the model compared to the others, whether it's worth that extra £7.50 or that more people will buy them. There's lots of factors involved in the way Games Workshop price their sort of individual sort of character models. They also have a Dark Angels Lieutenant, which I'll try and pick up at some point. But anyway, it's a Primaris Space Marine and it's a name character and they're pretty rare. The other name character that I can think of comes from the Warhammer 40,000 Conquest set, which is the Lieutenant Calcius, which is an Ultramarines one, which he's pretty awesome looking model. I will be doing some size comparisons later on. How was he to put together? Very, very easy and straightforward. He consists of 15 parts in total, and actually 4 of which can be, you know, interchangeable as such. So I've made him in with this power sword facing upwards, with the helmet on. You don't have to have the helmet on, but I've put the helmet on just because I prefer Space Marines with helmets on anyway. Obviously we've all got our preferences. I know that some people prefer the Space Marines without helmets because you kind of understand that there is a, I say, human sort of thing underneath there, and with that helmet it does give them a bit more personality. But I like these kind of faceless killing machine, kind of the psychology behind that. But anyway, I've gone with the, I say jazz hands, I've gone with the arm outstretched with the hand outstretched with an open hand there. You can opt, instead of the open hand, to put a bolt pistol there if you really want to. The Wake the Dead Primaris Lieutenant, which I'll show you in a moment, but as you can see, this guy also has a power sword and a bolt pistol, and I didn't want them to be kind of twins in a way and then both be carrying that. So it's great that this one you do get that option, the Wake the Dead one you don't. As such, it means you get a different pistol holder. He does come with 2, one with a pistol in, one with a pistol out, and also this is the other head. So they're the spare parts: the bolt pistol, pistol holder, and the head. So 3 separate parts come with Tolmeron. I think that's pretty good going, and it does give you some options. Yes, you can't really pose him. It does look a bit awkward if you try and move the arms much more than what they're kind of designed to go to. You don't have to put this Iron Halo type thing on there. Obviously lieutenants don't have iron halos, I clearly know that, and they're usually around the head area rather than the back, but still I've gone for that anyway. And I do like this kind of saber power sword. Well, I like both really, the saber power sword and this kind of more conventional double-edged blade too. But anyway, what I'll do now is go through some size comparisons, and then I will go through the rules for him. And specifically, I've gone through the Lieutenant rules 3 or 4 times in the past couple of months, so I should really know them off by heart. Size comparisons then. I just wanted to show you him next to, I say a Space Marine, but these are from the Space Marine Hero sets, and I think these are the most accurately sized normal Space Marines you can get. Yes, all of them are standing on some kind of rubble, but this is the size comparison I was expecting, not the older Space Marines. These ones, I mean, look how diddly he looks next to the Heroes one. He is a little bit smaller, and yes, he's on the rubble a bit, but even with on the rubble you can see he's just a bit higher, and that makes all the difference. There he just looks like a midget, but these two it's less obvious. And I think from now on, I'll spray this one and paint this one in my chapter colours and have this as the size comparison. So there's barely much of a difference. You can clearly see that the Primaris is taller, but this is what they are meant to be, sort of size-wise, I think. Anyway, so that's where he stands next to a normal Space Marine, if you want to use one of these old ones. Next to the Wake the Dead Lieutenant, he's pretty much exactly the same height. Probably a tiny bit taller, just with his power pack on that, you know, just a little bit taller on the power pack. Compared to Calcius, the Master of Milk and Bones, they're pretty much the same size. Calcius probably a little bit taller because he's more upright, so that's Calcius. And that's all the size comparisons really. What I'll do now is just go through the Primaris Lieutenant rules. You'll find him in your HQ section of the book. He is an HQ choice. His power points cost is a 5, and his points cost is, I think off by heart, in match play is 70 points. This unit contains one Primaris Lieutenant and can include one additional Primaris Lieutenant for power rating of +5. Each model is armed with a mastercrafted auto bolt rifle, a bolt pistol, frag grenades and crack grenades. His stat line reads movement of 6 inches, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 8 and a save of 3+. Now mine clearly doesn't have a mastercrafted auto bolt rifle, but he does have his bolt pistol in his pocket and a power sword, and that's one of the war gear options. Any model may replace its mastercrafted auto bolt rifle with a power sword or mastercrafted stalker bolt rifle. So you don't get your normal bolt rifles, put it that way. You either get a stalker, an auto or a power sword. They're the 3 options. His abilities, and they shall know no fear, tactical precision and company heroes. Now tactical precision is the main reason why you'd pay this lieutenant tax, as it were. It allows you to re-roll wound rolls of 1 for friendly chapter units within 6 inches of the lieutenant. That's great for your Hellblasters, a squad of intercessors with auto bolt rifles, you name it. Things with lots of shots that aren't really high strength weaponry. This character will let you re-roll those 1s. And company heroes is just a limiting factor whereby all models in this unit must be set up at the same time, though they do not need to be set up in unit coherency. And from that point onwards, each Primaris Lieutenant is treated as a separate unit. Just means that you have to put, if you've got 2 lieutenants, you have to put them together in that unit, and then they can just move about wherever. The keywords: Imperium, Adeptus Astartes, Chapter, Infantry, Primaris Lieutenants. So there you go. That's the Blood Angels Primaris Lieutenant. I don't have the Blood Angels Codex, so I don't know sort of what traits and things you could use for him. Compared to a normal Space Marine Lieutenant, I've said it before, but Primaris one has 1 extra wound at 5 and 1 extra attack. But Space Marine Lieutenant, although he's cheaper, and I say slightly worse stat line wise, he is more flexible. He can get pistols, combi weapons, loads of melee weapons. He can have a jump pack. He's still got the tactical precision that the Primaris one has. So the normal Space Marine Lieutenant is cheaper, slightly worse off stat line, but has more options. And obviously you can put that Lieutenant in a Rhino or a Land Raider or the Thunderhawk. That's all I wanted to say about Tolmeron. I think it's a really good looking model. It's nice now that we've got a few lieutenants with power swords. I think that's really cool. People have said, oh, he looks exactly the same. Well, this Wake the Dead one looks exactly the same as the Blood Angels one. There are loads of differences. I got it into the double figures when I looked at them. Everything from the bones and the skull to the sort of groin cloth, to the wreath on the shin, to the purity seal placements, to the chest plate, obviously, the helmet itself. The swords are totally different. Purity seals on the wrists and the iconography on the wrists. You name it, you can find plenty of differences. At the end of the day, they're 7 foot tall super soldiers in power armor. They are going to look pretty similar. It could be worse. They all could look like stormtroopers. No disrespect to Star Wars, but they look very, very samey. At least Space Marines do have little touches of character about them. Anyway, I don't want to bring Star Wars down too much because I think Disney have had a lot of flack from many people in recent times. Hope you've enjoyed the review for Tolmeron. If you do have him, or if you use, you know, all 9 lieutenants in a game, please do put it in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. the Emperor protects.